John Swomley. All right, so what is happening on this case? Hello.
Yes,
Hi.
Judge, sorry about that.
No problem.
Good morning, Your Honor. We received an offer from the state just today, Judge.
Okay,
My client is contemplating taking it. He requested a little bit of time to weigh his options, to go over the evidence with me one final time before making a decision. But I think by next setting, we'll be able to firmly tell the court whether it's going to be a plea on that date or a trial requested, Judge.
all right, Ms. Ferguson, if you can give me a 2-week reset for a plea deadline date on Swomley, please.
Number 26.
All right, September 26th.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Upon filling out the reset, maybe be excused, Judge?
Yes. Is that Jose Lopez?
It is, Your Honor.
All right. So, my understanding, the competency evaluation was ordered. Has that been completed?
It has been completed. He's been found competent. We just need a trial date.
All right,
But
Miss,
he's difficult.
that's okay. Ms. Ferguson, can I get a trial date on Jose Lopez? It's family violence and also it may be criminal trial division as well. All right, October 8th.
That's fine.
Oh, is that family violence?
It's family violence and criminal trial division.
They're gonna go with the ag robbery first.
You want to give it a different date?
Yes.
November 12th?
All right.
All right, November 12th.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Have a good one. Daniel Guerrero. All right. Has an offer been, well, an offer was due today, so has the state tendered an offer?
I believe they're gonna be sending an offer, Judge, if we can get a plea deadline date.
All right. How old are you?
32.
I'm sorry.
32?
All right, Ms. Ferguson,
Yes, ma'am.
if I can have a 3-week plea deadline date on Daniel Guerrero, please. All right, October 3rd.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you.
You have a good day.
You too. Alexander Brennan. Who's the attorney on Alexander Brennan? Yes. Brennan Alexander Cornish. Oh, coming down. All right, has discovery been completed?
I believe it has, but the state is reviewing this file for a potential dismissal.
Okay. All right, how much time are you all asking for? All right, so you want to recall it next week or, all right, 2 weeks? When do you want it?
2 weeks.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you recall this in 2 weeks, please?
Your Honor, my
Yeah.
client would like me to ask for a sooner date. I know that the state needs time to look at it, but my client would prefer a date that's a little sooner than that.
All right, what I'll do is I'll set it for September 26th. Your attorney can reach out to them. If they want it brought back sooner, then we'll bring it back sooner, okay? All right, thank you.
And ma'am, my client would like to address the court.
Yes,
There are several issues. First of all, let me say thank you for having my face today. Sure. Sure. I'm not a resident of Texas.
Mhm.
I am indeed a registered indigenous individual of America. This statement and this fact is true and on record in Washington, D.C. at the Library of Congress. I made this known to Mr. Bellevue, and I believe the state has no jurisdiction.
all right,
No.
so here's the thing. Let me stop you right there. That's another issue, and if your attorney wish to file a motion to that, I'll hear it. I hear motions.
There are several issues that I filed for as motions that my attorney has not brought to light up with us.
Well, he's your attorney, not you. So we're gonna come back on September 26th. And if things are resolved sooner than that, then your attorney can have you brought back sooner. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Javier Herrera. All right, this is scheduled for the 19th. Why are we here now?
I had it set today on my calendar.
Okay. All right, so where are we on discovery?
I found out from the state today that they spoke to CPS and we found out that there are no CPS records existing. So there's none that we need to receive. So I haven't yet received an offer from the state.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, if you reset this in 3 weeks, all right, which do you prefer?
Just make sure Charles is here. The 10th works best for me, Judge, if that's okay with the court.
All right, we'll put it for October 10th. All right, we'll see you back on October 10th, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Jose Mejia.
Yes, I have him also, Judge.
All right, so where are we on this case?
I know, I think Charles and Jason have conferred more on this case than me.
And I think we're in the stage of discovery.
We are, Judge. This is a case of a little bit older, but I've talked to Charles one other time about the case, and he's currently in trial, I believe.
That's correct.
So, Ms. Ferguson, on this case, because they're high-level felonies, recall this one in 45 days for discovery, and I think that should give everybody a chance.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Just one moment, you're gonna get your date. Is that 45 days? All right, you say October 28th?
He's out.
Okay, he's out. You wanna put it in November?
He's out in most of November. He's back by like the week of, sometime after November 18th. He's gone for the first couple of weeks.
All right. If you'll put it after November 18th,
The 21st, please.
all right, we'll put it for November 21st.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
May I be excused?
Yes. Who's here on Hernandez, Alberto, Navidad?
I'm Brennan, Your Honor.
Yes. Hello.
Hi, Your Honor.
Are you all ready to proceed?
The judge, he is asking me to ask you for a reset because he has surgery scheduled for October 14th and a follow-up on the back surgery October 31st.
All right, have you conferred with the state?
I have not, Your Honor. I just thought I would ask whether or not the court wanted to proceed on the sentencing or wanted me to approach you to ask about.
All right, if you should probably confer in the state with the state to see if they have any objections to that.
Okay.
Oh, just have a seat. Chaz Reed. Hello, all right, where are we on this case?
Judge, they've given an offer for the first time today. We
Okay.
would like a reset to mull over the offer.
All right, how old are you? How old are you?
42.
All right. All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Chaz Reed. Can you recall this in 2 weeks for a plea deadline date?
And Judge, last time we were here, you ordered a PR bond interview, but that
Yes.
never took place.
All right,
As far
we'll
as we
see what
know.
happened with that. I'll make sure that they put it in the system.
Okay.
September 26th.
All right, we'll be back on September 26th for a plea deadline date.
Scheduled for the interview already.
All right, they said that you've been scheduled.
September 26th? Thank you,
All right,
Judge.
who's here on Audriana Herrera? All right, come forward. Hello, so where are we on this case?
We're ready for trial, Your Honor.
All right, has an offer been tendered?
Yeah.
All right, who's the prosecutor on this case? It's Audriana Herrera. All right, so state, did you have a chance to tender an offer? All right, could you check and see?
But we just want a trial, Judge.
I require that offers be tendered. For example, if they were offering her a Class C, would she accept it or would she still want a trial?
We would want a trial, Your Honor.
Okay, well, no, not we, she, would she still want a trial?
That's
So
true.
if an offer has not been tendered, she doesn't know. All right, states, you need to tender an offer.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you all step back. They're going to tender an offer. Who's here on Isaac Chavez? All right, is this going to be contested?
It is, but my client is asking the court for a very short reset so he can take a look at, hopefully the labs for the proposed DWI will come back. And from what I understand in talking with the state, the arresting agency for the DWI can get videotaped within the next.
All right, they don't necessarily have to go on the DWI. We'll come back at 1:30.
Thank you.
Norma Isaac Chavez is gonna be 1:30. Let me see. Okay. All right, and what page is he on?
He is on page
10.
10.
All right, thank you. Stephanie Galvan. Council, where are we on discovery?
That is complete. I have conferred with the state. They have provided an offer to be good until the next setting.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, if you'll set this in 30 days for a plea deadline date. All right, we'll come back on October 14th. Make sure you're on time next time, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you are excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Carl Fuller.
Yes, Judge. Have a very.
All right. Thank you. All right, Mr. Fuller, your case has been dismissed. Remember, whatever brought you here, whatever issues there are, they're still out there unless you address them, okay?
Thank
All
you,
right,
Judge.
good luck to you.
Already on. Already on. He has to go waiver. A lot of shit I had.
Number, what page is Carl Fuller on?
Page 4. Judge.
Thank you, guys. Let me see. Okay. No, I don't see an Estrada up here. Well, just 1 second. Yes, I did. Jordan Estrada,
Good morning, Judge.
good morning. All right, where's Jordan Estrada?
He was on Zoom.
Ah, and he is on Zoom. Mr. Estrada, if you'll show your video. All right, I don't see your, I don't see your photo. You need to give your computer or phone permission to show video.
You see it?
No.
I see everything.
Yeah, we don't see it.
Let me get some assistance. Let me get some assistance.
Yeah. Ah, there you are. All right. So
I got it.
all right, thank you. So today is your plea deadline date. You need to take off your cap, sir. All right, so today is his plea deadline date.
He's in treatment for the next 90 days.
For the next 90 days? All right. Miss,
Judge, let me just tell you, there's a violation report up there too for GPM. If you remember, I notified him, it took us about 3 weeks to get him out of Bear County Jail.
yeah,
He's got a GPS violation because he was not able to report one of the times you released him on personal bond.
Okay,
That's what it's from. It's not that he got out and did something. So he was in jail, so of course he could not report to GPS.
okay. All right, and
Does that make sense to you?
it does, but I need to change this because it shows that he's still in jail, which obviously he's not. So I'll take care of that.
Okay, Judge.
But he's in a facility?
He's a lifetime recovery, Judge.
All right, lifetime recovery, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
I am as counselor. I'm here too.
All right, awesome. I just can't see your face, whoever the counselor is.
Sorry, man.
Hi, no problem. Thank you. So he's going to be there for an extra 90 days?
I think the best source is right there on the screen.
Excuse me, to the counselor?
Ma'am, I'm understanding he's out of court order to be here, and we're a standard 45-day program.
No.
So
Here's the
standing
thing.
any court order for.
All right, if you'll stop moving around because it's throwing the camera off. How long is
Yes,
he going to
ma'am.
be there? When is his release date from you?
45 days from the date of entry, ma'am. I'm sorry that I didn't know that I was going to be in this hearing. I do not have that date in front of me right now. If I can walk out and be back in a minute and a half, I could have that. Or if you can be patient for another 30 seconds, we'll get you that
All right, no
projected date.
problem.
So, ma'am, it'll be October the 25th, which is going to be 46 days in treatment. October
All right.
25th, discharge date.
All right, and what day of the week is October 25th?
Yes.
Oh, no, that's fine.
It's on a Friday.
All right, so Norma, can you put this on that Monday,
28th.
the 28th? Are you free on the 28th?
Thank you.
All right, so your next court date here is going to be October 28th, and you'll need to appear in court or by Zoom if you're still in treatment. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is there anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You're excused.
May I be excused, Judge?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
Can I ask him one thing, ma'am?
Yes.
About the UAs and all that. Yeah, I had got it with the Central Med over here, and I see y'all, I guess. You know what I mean? The UAs, and when I first got here to Lifetime Recovery, they did the UA.
All right, so what you'll need to do is talk to your attorney about that, and he'll make sure that's taken care of if there's some confusion over who's doing testing.
Okay, and then I got a different supervisor officer, Jasmine Lanier.
All right, so defense, if you'll make sure that the pretrial services officer is aware of where he's located so they can communicate.
Could I get a name for the pretrial officer?
Yes, Ms. Ferguson will give that to you. It's in here.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you, Lifetime, for having him zoom in.
All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. Bye-bye. Audriana Herrera. All right, was an offer tendered?
First tendered, Your Honor.
All right, do you need time to think about the offer or no?
No.
All right, so you're rejecting the offer?
Yes.
All right, how long do y'all expect this jury trial to last? All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial date. Criminal Trial Division, 2 days.
Judge, I just need, there's some business records that are going to be filed. Just a little bit of time to get the business records certified and in proper admissible form.
All right, October 1st, once you all sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Tajh Davis. Tajh Davis? All right. All right, so where are we on this case?
He has had his hearing.
with parole. They have not made a decision. Says he's supposed to hear a decision within 2 weeks.
Okay,
And we're just asking to know what the decision is so we can address the court about how to handle this.
all right, we'll recall it in 3 weeks. All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Tajh Davis, if we can recall this in 3 weeks, please. Okay. All right, we'll see you back on October 3rd. You're welcome. Landon Kendrick. Who's here for Landon Kendrick? All right, yes. What is happening with these cases?
Judge, there was a new case that happened very recently on the last 2 weeks. I was able to give it's the packet that contained the police report. There's a possibility that another charge could be sent from that case. This is one thing that could be still to just ask time just to make sure. All we have is that one report.
Okay, when do y'all want it recalled?
Probably need about,
3 weeks, 3 weeks on this.
probably a month.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Kendrick, please?
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
14th, October 14th.
All right, we'll be back on October 14th.
Judge, if there is violation with the something.
Yes, I'll rule on that right now.
Are we gonna go to court on indigenous people?
Clarence McDaniel.
Ready, Judge.
Kelly Cotner. We had a continuance pending on this.
When everybody comes in, you have to go to the post and ask them to pull the file. Otherwise, everybody's just sitting there.
I didn't,
Because I don't know if people are ready, if you don't pull the file. All right. State, are you ready on Kelly Cotner?
Yes, yes.
All right, so we're set for discovery. Where are we on that?
Judge, so we reached out to the Houston Crime Lab after you had signed the motion last, I believe it was on the 14th of August. He submitted it the very next day. I reached out yesterday. They said that they still have more time, but I did ask to expedite getting us the discovery. They said they could do that. It's still going to take a few weeks for them to get it together just because of the cases that are on that backlog to get discovery out.
and I will add to that. I issued a subpoena ducis tecum to the laboratory and had it served in Houston. And the analyst wasn't there. She was in Austin. And it's under a Houston laboratory, report. So I served them in Austin the next day. So I don't know how long it takes to get this done.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you give them a 30-day reset for discovery?
Yes, Judge.
And may I just address the court on one thing?
Sure.
The court, the laboratories that I've been sending this to are not abiding by the order. They have been refusing to provide me with the quality control of charts for their testing. And so I have to come back and say, hey, they didn't do this. And I'm just telling you, if I get this thing and something's missing, I have to come back to you.
Okay. All right, what date, Ms. Ferguson?
October 14th.
All right, we'll be back on October 14th.
Thank you.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused. You're welcome.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, it's straight. Second row.
And Norma, what page is she on?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, McDaniel.
Thank you, Judge.
And on McDaniel, here is the dismissals.
Okay.
And I did have a chance to read the letters.
Thank you, Judge. I'll take Patty for 16.
14.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I was like, that's a new one. Thank you.
All right, court is calling 2024 CR 4842, State of Texas versus Clarence McDaniel. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel, as part of the text.
Defense.
Marissa Giovanco for Mr. McDaniel.
And are you Clarence McDaniel?
Yes.
All right, you entered a plea in this case on June 27th. To count one, you entered a plea of guilty. State waived count two without objection. The court found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court deferred finding of guilt. According to the plea bargain agreement, state is proceeding on count one. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at a cap of 5 years in the prison. There's a $2,000 fine. It will run concurrent with County Court 14, cause number 726688. They're taking in consideration the following County Court 14, cause number 726689, 726690. There's to be restitution payable under County Court cause number 726689 and 726690. The state is silent on your application. All right, have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state?
Yes.
Defense?
Yes, Judge.
Any objections, state?
No.
Defense?
No, Judge, just some clarifications that I'll clarify with witnesses.
All right, you may proceed. State is silent.
Thank you, Judge. Defense calls Katina McDaniel.
All right, Katina McDaniel. Hello. All right, can you raise your right hand?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Katina McDaniel.
All right,
Can you spell your name for the court reporter?
Yes, it's a C like Charles, Atina.
Thank you, Katina. May I call you Katina?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And how do you know Clarence McDaniel?
He is my oldest son.
Okay. And can you tell the judge how many children you have?
I have 7,
Okay.
and he's number 2.
He's
I'm
number-
sorry, number 3.
Okay.
Yes,
But you did say he's your oldest
the
son.
oldest son. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So it would be fair to say you have daughters that are older than him.
Yes, 2 daughters that are older than him.
Okay. And all of your children, you said 6, are they all living here in San Antonio?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Mhm.
At the time that Clarence picked up this offense, was he living with you?
No, he was not. Yeah, he had his own apartment.
Okay. Who was he living with, to your knowledge?
He was living with his girlfriend.
And tell the judge about Clarence's childhood upbringing.
Clarence had a pretty normal upbringing all the way up until he was 12. That's when he lost his father. For maybe 1 to 2 years after that, we had a little trouble, but I think it was him acting out because of his father's demise. I don't think he ever really fully came to terms with that.
Okay. After his father passed away, did he have any male role models in his life?
Not really, and that's the thing, because a lot of people offered to step up and nobody really did after his dad died.
And
what other family do you have living here in San Antonio?
My mom lives here, my dad lives here, and I have two sisters that live here.
Okay. And do you have family other places in Texas?
I don't, but he has family that's in Houston.
Okay, Clarence has family in
Yes,
Houston?
yes, he is.
Okay, who are they?
His other grandmother lives there, and then he's got two uncles and 4 aunts that live out there.
Okay.
Mhm.
And how old is Clarence?
Clarence will be 24 this year in December.
Okay. Has he had any adult criminal history, adult convictions that you know of?
No.
Tell the judge what kind of a person Clarence is.
Clarence, he's a lot like his dad. He's real shy. Doesn't talk a lot, kind of keeps to himself, but I would say he has some of my personality too. He can be smart. I mean, if he applied himself, he could really go places.
Okay. And tell the judge about his girlfriend. What was going on when he got arrested in his life?
Well, the relationship between him and the girlfriend, I don't really feel like it was all that great. I think maybe initially I felt like he got caught up in this due to her demands. I don't know, but I just really feel like that. Because he was the only one in the house that was really doing anything. She wasn't working or anything. And then they had took on the extra responsibility of trying to raise her mom's kid.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old was
What do you mean? I'm sorry, trying to raise her mother's children? What do you mean?
Yeah, the daughter took the girlfriend's mother had a baby, and his girlfriend took responsibility of the baby.
Oh, so it's not his child and it's not the girlfriend's child?
Right.
Okay.
It would be fair to say it was the girlfriend's sister.
Right. Yeah. She was raising her sister pretty
Okay.
much. Yeah.
And how old was this child? Do you know?
She was young. She maybe was like, when they took possession of her, she was like 2 months, I think. Because I
Brennan.
think CPS had stepped in and the girlfriend offered to take responsibility for the child.
So the girlfriend took placement from CPS
Right.
of an infant.
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
And do you feel that was a lot of pressure
I feel like it was.
on Clarence? Let me finish my question.
Yes, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Okay. And you understand we're asking the judge to give Clarence a chance at probation.
Yes.
If Clarence were to get out of jail, where would he live?
He could reside with me, my mother, his grandfather. He's got a choice of places he could go.
Okay. And is there an opportunity possibly waiting for him in Houston?
Well, there is an aunt. I think she was one of the ones that submitted a letter that said that she owns a trucking company and she would be willing to give him a chance to come and drive for her company, the Tammy McDaniel.
Okay.
Mhm.
And do you feel that being in custody, or I'm sorry, have you talked to Clarence while he's been in custody?
Oh, yeah. I talk to him all the time.
Okay. And do you feel that he has accepted responsibility for what he did?
Yes.
Do you feel that he is willing and motivated to do treatment or anything the judge asks of him on probation?
I really believe he will.
Okay. Are you able to be there and support him if need be through probation?
Oh, yeah. Most
And-
definitely.
And anybody else in the family? Does he have any other people who will
he's
support
got
him?
support of both my sisters. He's got my brother-in-laws, his grandfather especially will definitely, yeah,
Okay, so he has a big support
a
system.
big support system. Yes.
Is there anything else that you want to tell the judge?
I mean, he's young, he's made some mistakes,
Made some choices.
and I agree with that, yes. And I tell him that all the time, you're an adult, I can't watch over you, but I really feel that if he's given another opportunity, that he will get it correct this time, because he's made a lot of bad decisions, but I think he's finally coming to terms with those decisions. So, and he told me, the last time he talks, he wants to work. He wants to get out, get him a job. He realizes that now the route that he chose was not the best route. So now he's more motivated to go out and work a regular job and make his, contribute to society the way that he should. I haven't had any contact with the ex-girlfriend. But I'm urging him or asking him, I think he should probably do this journey by himself.
All right, any questions? All right, so let's get to the crux of the situation. Here's the problem. He's out selling drugs.
Right.
And in the PSI report, he's saying you were not a good parent. His father wasn't a good parent. That his father went to prison, that you went to jail in 2017, and you all were always arguing and fighting in the house, and he got physical. So let's talk about that because I'm trying to understand who he is and why is he here before me selling drugs.
Yeah, it did get physical between me and my late husband. I will admit to that. I don't feel like I was a bad parent. I did go to jail for a year. I came back out, got my nursing license and went to work. So it wasn't like I was just, continuing this cycle. That was 8 years ago.
So I'm like, why is he selling drugs? That's what I'm trying to get to. And I'm trying to understand there is nothing then in his background that suggests that he should be selling drugs.
I agree.
And when people sell drugs, they ruin other people's lives. So why is he selling drugs? And it's not his girlfriend's fault that he's selling drugs. He's not 10
Right.
and she's giving him instructions. He decided to do this on his own. So the question is why? Even though why is not an element of the offense, why? Because otherwise he should probably go to prison because he's just being a predator on people who have addictions.
I don't really feel like he's a predator because he's never done this type of activity before.
Well,
I mean, if he had a record of this, I would agree with that. But this is the first time that I'm aware of him out here doing such things.
This is the first time he got arrested for it. And he got arrested because they did an undercover sting, I guess,
Right.
with him.
Right.
So he was setting up a buy. And he was doing it through text messaging.
Yeah, and when the attorney presented me with that, I had no idea that was going on.
So I honestly don't understand why I should give him probation because he's selling drugs. And then next thing you know, he's doing an evading arrest. I know people always come before me. They're saying he's young, he can change, but why does change always happen once you're in court as opposed to doing something before? And in the PSI report, I don't know if you've read it, I've read it. It's saying that he would live 2 or 3 days at your house, then go live 2 or 3 days at his girlfriend's house.
I don't even know where the girlfriend lives.
No, what I'm saying is in the PSI report, he said that he would live 2 or 3 days at your house, then he would leave and stay 2 or 3 days at his girlfriend's house.
We stayed with the girlfriend longer than that. The only time he would come. Huh?
When you say we, who is we?
No, I said he would stay.
Yeah, that's what he said. He'd say he'd stay there for a couple of days.
He would stay that longer than that.
Yeah.
Than 3 or 4 days.
Mhm.
The only time he would come back to my house is whenever they were having disputes.
Mhm.
And it really wasn't even that long.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It wasn't no 2 or 3 days. He was with her for a while.
No. I agree that it was over a length of time,
Mhm.
but their relationship was one where he would stay at her house for a few days, then come and stay at yours, then go back and stay at hers for a few days. That's what I've read in the PSI report.
Okay. Well, I'm just acknowledging that is not what it was.
No, I understand.
Mhm.
All right. Any other questions?
Not for this witness, Judge.
Thank you so much for
Oh.
coming in.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Defense calls Clarence McDaniel.
All right, you want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Thank you, Judge. Clarence, tell the judge, how old are you?
23.
And I know the judge has already read the PSI, but tell the judge how your dad passing affected you.
Didn't really have a father figure, nobody to look up to when he passed. And I didn't really, I didn't have really a father figure once he left.
Was it hard on you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And tell the judge about your girlfriend that you were with when you got arrested.
It was like any young relationship, it's kind of a little rocky, trying to have stability and take care of a kid, but I did the best I could do.
Okay. And tell the judge how you got custody of a 2-month-old baby.
we had to make sure we had an apartment in the car to somewhere for the baby to live, and then somewhere to get the baby back and forth to.
And Child Protective Services just decided this was a great idea. Okay.
That's my understanding, Judge. Is that what happened? Child Protective Services put the baby with your girlfriend?
Yes,
Okay, and who was all living together?
it was me, her, and the baby.
Okay, and how was that? Was it easy having an infant?
No, it was pretty stressful. It was pretty stressful.
Were you working?
Yes, ma'am.
Where were you working?
Working, I was doing temp agency jobs, really.
Okay, so not consistent, or was it consistent work?
It was sometimes consistent, yeah.
I believe you told the pretrial officer this was the only time you had ever attempted at selling drugs. Is that correct?
Yes.
You had never sold drugs to anyone else before this day?
No, ma'am.
And what made you, that's the judge, you heard the judge, that's her question. Why? Why did you decide to sell drugs?
I was really just trying to support my habit, you know what I'm saying, support my youth. I just started using and I was just trying to support my youth and doing that.
Were you also trying to get money for the baby or just for your habit?
Mainly just for my habit, but I mean, I have to, you know, baby have needs too, so yeah.
Okay. Now, have you been in tell the judge your girlfriend's name.
Tasharia Harper.
Tasharia. Have you been in communication with Tasharia while you've been in custody? When was the last time you talked to her?
I believe on last Sunday.
Okay, so still recently. Okay. Are you planning on still being with Tasharia when you get out of jail?
I'm not quite too sure. I don't know really. You know, when you go to jail, you see kind of who's there for you and who's not. So I don't know. I probably just trying to work and get somewhere to stay by myself really quick now.
Okay, where are you planning on living when you get out of jail? If you get out of jail?
Grandma's house.
Your grandma's house. So where does she live?
She lives on the east side where my mom stays.
Here in San Antonio. Okay. And where do you want to look for a job?
I got an opportunity right now with the Buttercrust Corporation.
Okay, what would you be doing for Buttercrust?
Loading up trucks and unloading them.
Okay. And I know we've talked about the possibility of driving a truck for your aunt or uncle in Houston. Is that also a possibility you would consider?
Yes, ma'am. I just got to get my driver's license.
Okay. So you would have a job lined up either way?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, you've told the judge and the pretrial officer about your drug use. You've been in custody for a while. Are you motivated to stay clean?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You understand that if the judge were to give you probation, she could give you inpatient treatment, outpatient treatment. You'd have to drug test frequently, possibly go to AA or NA classes, all sorts of things. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you willing to do all of those things?
Yes.
Have you ever been on probation before?
Yes, ma'am. One time.
For what kind of a case?
Possession of marijuana.
Misdemeanor case?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever been on any sort of felony probation? Do you have anything else you want to tell the judge?
I'm not a distributor. I don't distribute drugs. It was my first time ever trying to do that, and I was just trying to support my habit. Trying to say.
I'm sorry, one more question. I think the PSI says something about you think that they thought you could have made better choices. Who are you talking about when you said they?
The people that was affected by my actions.
Okay, what about you? Do you think you could have made better choices?
Yes, ma'am.
No further questions. And stay silent, do they?
They're allowed to present questions if it's regarding facts.
Yes.
On the date of your arrest, you were by yourself, right?
Yes, sir.
So your girlfriend wasn't involved in this?
No, sir.
And then you were in possession of 130 fentanyl pills?
No.
Well, the police report says that S1 advised me that he was trying to sell 130 fentanyl pills.
The one I seen said 100. With the police report I read said 100.
Nothing to say.
All right. So I'm assuming in your thought process, you had to get pills from somewhere to be able to sell them, or did you make them in a lab?
I don't make drugs.
So you had to get them from somewhere.
And I was walking to the store.
Oh, you're saying you just found him on the ground?
Yes, ma'am. Like somebody dropped them and I found them.
Oh, then how did you know they were fentanyl?
Searched up what was on them on my phone. And they didn't come back for 15 pills.
All right, so you're saying somebody just dropped fentanyl pills on the ground. That's your story.
Yes.
Okay. All right, anything else?
Just argument, Judge.
All right, court will hear argument.
Judge, Mr. McDaniel is 23 years old. He has very limited criminal history. I understand this is a very serious offense. However, he is highly motivated to do anything and everything on probation if given the opportunity. And this isn't a case of a hardened drug dealer, of a person who, you know, has been selling for years and years. This is a new user, a new dealer. Unfortunately, the first time he's selling, he sells to an undercover cop, and he deserves a chance to show that he can change. He deserves a chance at rehabilitation. He deserves a chance to turn his life around. And that's all we're asking for.
All right. The court is going to find you guilty. Court will sentence you to 5 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. This will run concurrent with County Court 14, cause number 726688. Take in consideration County Court cause number 726689, 726690, 2024 CR 4841. And the complainant is saying that she wants her deductible for the vehicle that he hit. And that is in
500.
Yes, $500. And let me see which cause number that is in. There's to be restitution of $500 to Roxanne Herrera. And cause number 726689. With regards to Escalante Javier, the court does not have any restitution in the PSI report, so the court is not ordering restitution in that. Court will note that this PSI has been pending since July, so person would have had time to give restitution, a proposed restitution amount. All right. And I'll order the therapeutic community and I'll retain jurisdiction.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And Ms. Giovinco,
Yes.
you better show me something.
Yes, Judge.
All right, she's asking for a continuance because he has surgery.
This word she showed me doesn't have his name.
It has his signature on the back, Judge. It doesn't have it on the front, but it does have his signature on the back.
And what is the treatment for?
If you can ask him, Judge, he told me it's something with his back, but I don't want to elaborate.
I got in an accident and I got a pork disc damages and two vegetables.
2 vertebrae.
All right, do we need, do you have any objection to the continuance? All right, do we need an interpreter for him?
No, ma'am.
He speaks English.
Okay. All right, we're gonna go on the record in 2024 CR 4387, State of Texas versus Alberto Hernandez. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Monica Guerrero for Mr. Hernandez.
And are you Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you entered a plea on July 18th to count 1 of no contest, count 2 of no contest. You applied for community supervision. The court found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty in each count, and the court found you guilty in count 1 and count 2. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state? All right, defense?
I have.
Defense, do you have any objection to the PSI report?
I do not, so long as you have the supplemental on the back showing the correction for the ag robbery and with the ag assault and the robbery. The robbery was reduced to a misdemeanor and the aggravated assault was dismissed.
Yes.
So he doesn't have those felonies in the calculation for felonies and misdemeanors.
All right. All right. State, do you have any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, do you have any witnesses?
I do not, Judge.
All right, then the court will hear argument. State, you are, according to the plea bargain agreement, you're asking that punishment be assessed at 8 years in the prison, and you're opposing his application for community supervision.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you may proceed.
Briefly, Your Honor, very brief. You've read the stipulations, you know the facts of the case, and you've seen the PSI. I draw attention to his criminal history, specifically the transporting, moving aliens, knowing said aliens enter or remain in the United States contrary to law, all done for the purpose of commercial gain, advantage, and private financial gain. in the United States District Court of West Indies, Texas.
All right, defense.
And Judge, I'm gonna call your attention to look at, if you look at his criminal history, although it sounds like it's a lot, it really, it's not that much. And that case from the feds was in 2006, which was his last time of really being in trouble. We're now in 2024, it's 18 years later. If you read the PSI, you can see, well, he accepts responsibility, but he's telling me that it was not, as it appears, he was not coming down to San Antonio, that he was in fact having communication, but he felt he was role playing with an adult. I'm asking the court to consider giving him probation as opposed to sending him to prison and giving him the maximum probation so that this court will have plenty of time to ensure that he receives treatment and that he complies with everything, because I've told him that in this court, it is dangerous for him to get probation because you will give him a chance and you will give him an opportunity, but if he messes up, he will have to pay. So I want the court to be able to have that leash over him, so to speak, so that he can comply with any regulations and treatment that the court would deem necessary in this type of case.
Right, I don't understand how he thought it was role play when the images were not of an adult.
Apparently, what he discloses to me is that he's had relationships with adult women that pretend to be younger and send images like that, but that are actually older than him or his age.
All right, so I don't have any legal proof of that. I don't have any text messages that show that. Okay. All right, is there anything else?
No, Judge.
All right, then the court is gonna not deny your application. Court will find you, as previously stated, the court found you guilty of count 1 and count 2. In count 1, the court will sentence you to 8 years in the prison. This will run concurrent with count 2, and the court will sentence you to 8 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing? All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney?
This one that he's.
Did you understand it and sign it? All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you. And counsel, I did have the supplemental.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience. All right, who's here on J. Juarez?
If I put this up here.
No, that's fine. All right, on this, what are we here for? Motion to revoke?
No, this is a restitution, to add restitution to the case.
State, are you ready to proceed on the restitution hearing?
I don't know, Your Honor, because Mr. Basile has.
I have a legal issue.
interesting Argument.
Yes.
All right, Your Honor, my argument is that the court took up this case on May 7th, 2024, granted a deferred adjudication. At that time, the order states there's zero restitution on the court's order, the written order. And also in the conditions of probation, it doesn't have any amount. It has to be determined, doesn't have any amount on there. This notice requesting it that I'm seeing in the printout was filed on June 12th. It's my argument that that order that was issued by the court on March 7th became final. 30 days later, that was a final order. And since under case law I've researched and found, and I can give you the sites, the courts consider restitution to be part of the sentencing. It's my order that to proceed on would be a violation of his due process, considering that as a final order by this court. And the court cannot change that. There also the court cases I've read from the Court of Criminal Appeals says the court cannot go back and order restitution if there wasn't restitution originally ordered or a restitution hearing that was set up to determine later.
All right, so a restitution hearing was set up on June 25th, 2024.
I didn't see that on the printout I got from Odyssey.
Okay.
Well, there's
Incorrect.
June 25th, that's correct.
Yeah,
But
June
but the
25th.
supplemental report submitting, asking for it was filed on June 12th. So there was not a request, there was a request on June 12th to set it, which is more than 30 days after this court sentencing. That sentencing order became final after 30 days.
All right, so then honestly, what the issue is that the judgment that was issued is not a correct judgment. And let me explain to you why it's not a correct judgment. When I accepted the plea bargain agreement, I sentenced him to $2,000 fine probated, 200 hours of community service restitution. He was either obtained his GED or a certificate from a trade school, and the community service hours were deemed satisfied. Took into consideration County Court 12 cause number. And then I ordered that there was restitution to Kenyatta Warner in 708710. And that was ordered on the record. So the problem is the judgment is incorrect. And there needs to be a correction of the judgment. I mean, we can't stay with an incorrect judgment.
It was still being argued that that judgment is final, and I've got, I can give you the case law. if you
No,
want
I
to
understand
submit
what
that.
your case law is, and I understand what you're saying. So everybody step back. All right, thank you.